Bachelorette fan favorite struck by lightning. Is he okay? July 18th, 2025. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bachelor Nation News fans. A Bachelorette fan favorite was struck by lightning, but is he okay? Furthermore, how and when did this happen, and was he alone when this all went down? Keep reading for all of the details regarding this interesting situation. Bachelorette fan favorite struck by lightning. Awful things can strike at any time, and reality television fans are very aware of that. On Bachelor in Paradise, the weather has been so out of control that dates have been postponed or canceled. When it came to the Golden Bachelorette, Chalk Chapel had to exit when his mother passed away. This broke Joan Vassos's heart, but he returned in time to keep their romance going. Although these are unexpected and tragic events, sometimes plain old odd things happen to members of Bachelor Nation. One Bachelorette fan favorite just shared a nightmare that he recently experienced and will likely never forget. Blake Horstman, who was on season 14 of the hit Bachelor spinoff, recently shared that his plane was struck by lightning. He noted that 10 minutes after they had taken off, it struck and broke the cockpit window. They then had to do an emergency landing, with the pilot stating how rare this was to happen. Finally, Blake shared how grateful he was that the lightning did not strike the engine and firmly believed someone was watching over them. After the Bachelorette alum shared a snap of himself wrapped up in his sweatshirt, he went on to share the damage to the window. It was completely shattered into bits and clearly devastating for anyone who was aboard the plane. Blake added that he was thrilled with whoever made the plane windows, as it could have been far worse than it was. However, he knew how lucky he and his fellow passengers were to have escaped something far more tragic. Apparently, his followers had a lot of questions for him as to why he would fly in such awful conditions. Answering concerns. Blake Horstman shared a snap of his baby and added all of the questions that he had received from followers. Many Bachelorette fans did not understand why the plane took off if it was so rough and risky. He noted that there were no sounds of thunder, but instead a big bang. It was very abnormal, so everyone turned to look at each other and try to understand. His fiancée, Giannina Gibelli, saw a flash, and the pilot soon revealed what went down. Finally, Blake shared that it was handled incredibly, despite being scary. Fortunately, the Bachelorette alum, his family, and the passengers all escaped safely. Have you ever been through something such as this? Let us know in the comments below. It started like any other weekend in Malibu. Sunny skies, warm breezes, and an energy that screamed Bachelor Nation off-season getaway. A handful of recent cast favorites from The Bachelorette had gathered for what was supposed to be a relaxing reunion. There were margaritas, pool floats, and the occasional TikTok dance happening in the background. Front and center, as always, was Noah Grayson, the charming underdog from season 22 who had stolen America's heart with his quirky humor, golden retriever energy, and ability to cry without losing his masculinity. Since his heartbreak on national television, Noah had gone on to build a massive following. He was the fan favorite who should have been the next Bachelor, and many still weren't over it. But fate had other plans. At precisely 4:47 p.m., the blue skies turned dark. The breeze shifted. A freak lightning storm formed over the Malibu hills, and no one saw it coming. Not even Noah. He was standing barefoot by the infinity pool, holding a Bluetooth speaker, mid-conversation with his best friend and fellow alum, Logan Bishop, when the bolt hit. Witnesses say there was a sound like a cannon, followed by a flash so bright it burned into their retinas. Then came the screams. "He's not breathing!" The aftermath was chaos. Bachelorette alums darted across the yard, their perfect Instagram-ready smiles vanishing. Logan dropped his drink and fell to his knees beside Noah, who lay on the scorched deck like a broken mannequin. His t-shirt was ripped open, a jagged red mark scorched down his shoulder and across his chest. His hair stood on end, his skin eerily pale. He wasn't moving. "He's not breathing," someone shouted. It was Becca Stone, another franchise darling who had once shared a group date with Noah in Santa Fe. Her voice cracked as she dialed 911, her hands shaking. Logan began CPR, counting compressions out loud with tears running down his face. "Come on, bro, don't do this, not you." Ambulances arrived within 6 minutes. By then, Noah had taken a shallow breath, but he hadn't opened his eyes. They loaded him onto the stretcher as cameras rolled. Yes, cameras, because of course someone had to go live. And that was when the hashtag started trending. Hashtag pray for Noah, hashtag Bachelorette Bolt, hashtag Noah struck down. The ICU and Instagram silence. Noah was rushed to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, where he was immediately admitted to the ICU. He was unconscious, hooked up to machines, a breathing tube down his throat. Doctors called it a miracle that he'd survived the strike, but cautioned the damage could be permanent. Meanwhile, the Bachelor Nation fanbase spiraled. Noah's Instagram went silent. His last post, a shirtless mirror selfie captioned "Sunday's Vibes," was flooded with comments. "You were just here 2 hours ago. I'm crying. Noah, please be okay. My heart can't take this. Is this a PR stunt? I'm lighting a candle. I don't even go to church. We need updates, now." Inside the hospital, only family and a select few were allowed in. Logan was one of them. He hadn't left Noah's side in 48 hours, and it was Logan who finally took to Instagram Live to give fans what they wanted: the truth. Logan breaks the silence. "Hey guys," Logan said, staring into the camera, his eyes bloodshot. "This isn't easy to talk about." He was sitting in a hospital hallway, slouched in a chair with a hoodie pulled over his head. "Noah is stable, that's the good news, but the lightning, it did some real damage. He's got second-degree burns, and he might have some short-term memory loss. They're still running tests, but he's alive, and knowing Noah, he's gonna joke his way through rehab." Logan paused, taking a deep breath. "I was there. I saw it. It was the scariest moment of my life. One second we're talking about fantasy football, the next, he's on the ground, lifeless. I'm just grateful he made it through the first night." The video garnered 3.4 million views in under 2 hours. Fans rallied. They started a GoFundMe despite Noah's influencer income. They created art, songs, a Bachelorette subreddit turned into a 24-hour prayer circle. And slowly, behind the scenes, Noah began to wake up. "Why can't I feel my hand?" It was day 4 when Noah opened his eyes. His first words: "Did I miss the pool party?" The nurse chuckled, but Logan didn't. He was frozen, watching as Noah winced and looked down at his right hand. "Why can't I feel my hand?" he asked. That was when Logan noticed the hand was wrapped in thick gauze, with wires and tubes snaking into the veins. The doctors explained later that the electrical surge from the lightning had passed through Noah's right arm, burning tissue and potentially damaging nerves. Physical therapy would be a must. Surgery was a possibility. But for the moment, he was awake. He was alive. And Bachelor Nation rejoiced. Bachelor Nation reacts. Noah's return to Instagram came 5 days after the accident. The post was raw and real, a photo of him in a hospital bed, smirking with his left hand giving a thumbs up, his face swollen but still full of life. "Guess I always wanted to go out with a bang, not quite like this though. Still here, still grateful, and still planning to win the next Bachelorette's heart, one-handed or not." Celebs flooded the comments. "Jojo Fletcher, you scared the hell out of us, so glad you're okay." Tasha Adams, "I'm coming with soup and sarcasm." Jesse Palmer, "This man deserves a second chance at love and a lightning bolt emoji on his jersey." Suddenly, hashtag Lightning Bachelor was trending. Petitions were made to name Noah the next Bachelor, with a tagline reading, "He survived lightning, can he survive love?" And producers were watching. The redemption arc. 6 weeks later, Noah walked onto Good Morning America wearing a cast and an ironic shirt that read, "Shocking Recovery." He told his story with grace, humility, and humor. "Honestly, I thought I just got tackled by a linebacker from behind, but then I smelled burnt hair and realized, oh, that was lightning." He revealed that while the right hand had limited mobility, therapy was helping. He couldn't feel part of his forearm yet, but doctors were optimistic. Then came the big question. Would you ever return to The Bachelorette or even become the Bachelor? Noah grinned. "If Bachelor Nation wants a scarred-up, semi-electric hero with bad pickup lines and a robotic arm, count me in." America swoon again. Enter the unexpected visitor. 1 week after his GMA interview, Noah received a handwritten letter.
It was from Emily Vasquez, the girl he nearly proposed to in the Bachelorette finale, the one who chose another man at the last second. The letter was simple. "I saw what happened. I'm sorry I haven't reached out sooner. Watching you fight your way back reminded me of why I fell for you in the first place. I'd love to see you. No pressure. Just coffee. Just real." Noah stared at the note for hours. Could lightning strike twice? In the heart this time? Love after lightning. 2 weeks later, paparazzi captured them together, Noah and Emily sitting outside a Venice Beach cafe, laughing like it was 2022 again. Fans freaked out. Wait, is this a comeback couple? They always had chemistry. She didn't deserve him. Noah, don't go back. And yet, insiders claimed the two were taking it slow. That didn't stop the Bachelor producers from dialing Noah's number. They offered him a slot, not as a contestant, as the next lead. All he had to do was say yes. The shock heard round the world. On the After the Final Rose special for the current Bachelorette season, the audience gasped when Jesse Palmer made the surprise announcement. "Ladies and gentlemen, your next Bachelor is Noah Grayson." He walked out in a tailored suit, cast-free, with a bolt-shaped pin on his lapel. The crowd went wild. Emily was watching from the front row. She smiled, but didn't move. Because this was Noah's moment. From fan favorite to lightning survivor, from heartbreak to headline, Noah's journey had come full circle. And Bachelor Nation couldn't wait for the most electrifying season yet. Everything happens for a reason. Months later, as Noah filmed his season, he posted one final quote on his feed. "Sometimes you get struck down just to learn how to stand back up. Not every storm is meant to break you. Some are meant to build you. I'm built different now, and I'm ready for love." And just like that, Noah Grayson, the man who lived through fire from the sky, was back on our screens, this time holding the roses. But the question remains, will lightning strike again in love? Only time and 12 Monday night episodes will tell.